children's arts and achievements that have been deemed exclusive. Today, who has represented contributed to international conversations and spoken on global stages across Africa. As founder of the Yola Child Rights Advocacy Foundation, Deputy Speaker of the Nigerian National Children's Parliament, and Global Campaign Advisor for Save the Children International, he continues to champion the rights and potential of young people. Today, he joins us to share his TEDx Yola talk titled "Turning Pain into Policy: How Young Voices Drive Change." Please join me. Right Honorable Ryan Sanders. Right Honorable.
What if the most dangerous decisions in our world are not made out of cruelty, but out of distance? Distance from the truth, distance from the lived reality. I want to tell you a story about a girl named Aisha. She was as young as 7, and every morning, without failure, she would wait for her mother, fold her prayer mat, and pack her school bag with the kind of seriousness that only children who believe that school is a privilege can manage. Her favorite subject was math, not because she was naturally gifted. She would tell you herself that numbers made her head hot, like they do to everybody. But it was because her teacher, Madam Garba, would always tell her that women who can change the world are the ones who can count what the world is missing. She didn't understand what she meant, but she decided she was going to learn how to count anyway. And on a normal Monday morning, the men came. They came with guns. They came with fire. It's an ideology that had decided long before Aisha was born that a girl holding a pencil was a political threat. The school was torn down. The communities raided. Their parents killed. Their teachers murdered. Aisha, Madam Garba, and others were all abducted. But then, amidst all the crisis, miraculously, I managed to run. She ran for hours after she finally hid in a field. But unfortunately, she was destined to be found. When Aisha was found, God in His infinite mercy, she had not screamed, she had not cried, she had done the only thing that made sense to her small, brilliant mind. She had been counting. Counting the number of the direction they came from, the roads they took when they left. A 7-year-old girl in a field at such a horrible rate conducted an assessment. Now let me stop here. Because as I stand on this stage today, somewhere around the world, vulnerable children are in captivity. Right now, somewhere, parents are gathered outside a gate where the children were this morning and are not anymore. Right now, is holding a photo of a child. Right now, the world is watching the news. In particular helpless horror we feel when the victims are small, the perpetrators are certain, but the solutions are nowhere to be found. These are not just one story. These are different stories told in different tones, in different languages. But to me, these stories are not new to us. What is new is how comfortable we have become with it. The world has failed its children. we all have failed our children. We have seen it countless of times. We have watched it in Gaza, where children are pulled from rubble with their school bags still on their backs. We have watched it in Sudan. Hunger devours children faster than bullets. Go to the DRC. Tiny hands mine cobalt for the devices you hold in your hands. Their childhood exchanged for the convenience of your technology. In Afghanistan, the education of girls have become a crime. Go to the shores of Mediterranean, you would see bodies of children wash up, refugees of war. They fled but could not escape. And we have watched it again and again here in Nigeria. Children abducted from their schools in broad daylight. While we pay attention for as long as it takes to scroll past. Believe me, we have made peace with things that should keep us up at night. We are not monsters. We are something far dangerous than monsters. We are people who feel the right things, but still do nothing. And what pains me the most is even with this ongoing crisis, our voices, our experiences are still fragile. Instead of people seeing us as architects of our own crisis, we are being treated as problems to be solved. And this is the reason I'm here to tell you that this assumption will not only make our solutions to fail, but it is an unjust crime we have been committing. Ibrahim Zannasunoma is my name, and I was 9 when I understood that I was subject of other people's conversations. Where I was born, like many of the places I have named earlier, a child was not supposed to be seen, and certainly a child was not supposed to be heard. Not by the men with guns, not by the government, not in the policy rooms being held in buildings we had never entered. We are being used as photograph on a donor slide. We are being used as statistics on a report by people who never once asked us how the solutions should feel like. And this assumption that children are victims to be rescued, not experts of our own crisis, is the reason why our solutions keep failing. Let me take you back to the story of Aisha. I want to tell you something that happened simultaneously to Aisha's Tuesday. 3,000 kilometers away, in a room full of the world's most credentialed humanitarian experts, world leaders, government officials, finalizing a framework that was meant to protect children like Aisha. Months of work, satellite data, peer-reviewed research, interviews with officials, NGOs, but not one of them had asked a single child. Not one of them had asked, what do the men look like? Which families fled? Which teachers were threatened weeks before the attack and could not say anything out of fear? That information existed. It existed in the experiences and bodies of children in war zones across our world. And finally, when the framework was adopted, the implementation failed. Of course it failed. Because you cannot solve a problem you have refused to fully listen to. And that is why I believe that anything for us without us is not truly for us. But I will tell you one better. Anything for us without us will never work. And if I want you to leave this room with one ask, I will ask you to not neglect your responsibilities. We have all perfected our speeches, we have perfected our businesses, but we have neglected our moral responsibility. Allow me to borrow the words of Kofi Annan. He says there is no trust more sacred than the one we hold with our children. So all of us have roles to play. Allow me to also borrow the words of Johann Wolfgang. He says, let everyone sweep in front of his own door and the world will be clean again. So I ask you, the next time you are in a room where a decision is being made about a child, be the one to ask, is a child present in this room? Not a photograph of one, not one on statistics, but an actual child being actually represented and being actually heard. Because believe me, if we ignore us, if we ignore the voices of our children, we'll end up being the Pennsylvania monsters that will haunt all of you tomorrow. So I ask you to make spaces, to create spaces for young people in your own world. History will not remember the people who studied our pain in a comfortable distance. History will only remember the people who finally let us into the room. And now the big question is, what side of that history are you willing to be on? Thank you.
Ibrahim A. Abdullahi is a visionary leader whose work centers on transforming ideas into meaningful impact through his dedication to leadership, innovation, and community development. He has consistently demonstrated how purposeful thinking, strategic action, and commitment to service can bring lasting value. His journey to solve problems, create opportunities, and inspire positive change. Driven by a passion for empowering others and fostering sustainable growth, Ibrahim continues to influence conversations around leadership, innovation, and impact-driven development. His experience has contributed with new insights into how vision and action, how individuals and organizations can change to develop and take our experience and insights from vision to purpose. How ideas become
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, Yola. I am very excited to be in Yola this weekend, and most importantly, meeting the very beautiful young people putting together the TEDx Yola. But the highlight of this trip, I must confess, is meeting the phenomenal Ibrahim Zanna Sonoma, whose journey reminds me very much of my younger self. Like Ibrahim, I was many years ago in the Children's Parliament, occupying the same position as the Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's Children's Parliament, and advancing the voice of Nigeria's children and the need to get children and young people involved in matters that affects them. But I would take my conversation a little further today, borrowing from Ibrahim's remarkable presentation this morning. But what also a very big challenge to speak right after such an outstanding orator. From Ibrahim's speech, my conclusion is a shift, a mindset shift to what I would refer to as the action imperative. There's been so many great speeches around the world. There have been so many great ideas around the world, but yet very little execution. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Over the past 2 decades or so, borrowing from my experience as a young child advocate, very curious about the development of the world and the inclusion of children in decision making, to going overseas to study law in one of the world's top universities, to working in a top consulting firm in the United Kingdom, to joining one of Nigeria's most consequential commercial practice, to start myself and accidentally finding myself in not just the corridors of power, but in the rooms where decisions are being made. What has been lacking are 2 things in my view. One, the skill set and technical know-how to push ideas to action. And secondly, and most importantly, the courage to drive these ideas into action and to make sure that these impact on our people. I'm starting this with a reflective story, and that story involves myself and a host of other young people that have built what is now to be known as Nasarawa's ascension from a mere civil service state to one of Nigeria's most competitive places to do business. In 2019, I was running a small commercial law practice out of Abuja and Lagos. And I met Governor Abdullahi Sule, then governor-elect, and he had a vision. He told me he wanted to transform and industrialize Nasarawa State, and I shared a couple of ideas with this outstanding engineer who was embarking on a journey in public service. I was 29 years old. I was very passionate about my career, and I was very much enjoying my life at 29. He gave me a task to join him in building and leading Nasarawa State's economic and investment agenda. There was no blueprint, no template, no institutions, just a clear mandate to build. Before, at that moment in Nasarawa State, if you go into Nasarawa State to do business, you'd have to deal with at least 11 institutions or more. There was no shared economic vision. There was no stipulated government priority. Nothing. Just a group of people wondering about how their lives can be transformed. In starting this journey, we realized that the state cannot attract what it isn't ready for. So we started to build readiness. How did we do? First and foremost, we came up with a blueprint, which is the Nasarawa Economic Development Strategy. And that blueprint was anchored on the need to improve the ease of doing business in the state, build centers of excellence. We found out that there were some remarkable existing work done that needed to be beefed up. We created institutions such as the Bureau for Public Procurement to sanitize the way government procurement was done. We beefed up the Bureau for ICT. The governor started the Human Capital Development Agency, but most importantly, at the heart of delivering this agenda, we started a brand new organization called the Nasarawa Investment and Development Agency. That agency became the one-stop investment center for Nasarawa State. But what is remarkable for me in building that agency was the first day I was handed in the appointment letter to set up that agency. The only thing we had was that appointment letter. But with my experience going through the journey such as that of my very good friend, Ibrahim Zanna, I made a decision. We're going to build an agency that was different, and we're going to use the agency as a point of reference to build a new cadre of leadership for Nasarawa State. We wanted to build new sets of public servants that had the technical know-how, that had the passion, but most importantly, that had the courage to implement something very new. So we decided that no one coming into that agency was going to be above the age of 35. Today I'm 36. I'm wondering whether or not I should continue to be in the agency. Then things began to flourish in Nasarawa State. The agency started pursuing ideas, platforms, and initiatives. One of such key initiatives I'd like to share with you this morning in Yola is the Nasarawa Investment Summit. In 2022, having created the blueprint, having created institutions and the people behind those institutions, we decided to start creating our own marketplace. For the first time, we said we wanted to gather the world in Nasarawa State. A lot of people said it was impossible to do so because Nasarawa State didn't even have an airport that was functioning. How are global investors going to fly around the world and come into Nasarawa State? How are we going to convince them that Nasarawa State is a destination to go? Guess what? These young people from across the length and breadth of Nasarawa State, and of course the length and breadth of Nigeria, put together the inaugural Nasarawa Investment Summit with President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana as the keynote speaker. We had other investors, the biggest investors on the continent, like Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Rashid Sarumi of Saro Africa, and a host of other global leaders from global institutions. That small marketplace culminated in a $500 million investment commitment in Nasarawa State. There were a lot of pledges, but beyond the pledges, there was the need for us to make sure that all of the commitments at that summit are translated into reality so that the next time we call, people will answer. One of such commitments at that inaugural summit was a remarkable investment to build a technology village for Nasarawa State, a commitment to build first of its kind CNG plant in Nasarawa State, and a host of other investments. We came back again in 2024 with this same marketplace, and at this time we were showing readiness, not potential. We were showing a marketplace that was giving results both to citizens and to investors. We pioneered an infrastructure fund. We ushered in a new public-private partnerships framework. We ushered in a one-stop investment center operational. This is what a deal signing looks like, but what is important and touching to me every time we signed a deal in Nasarawa is the look in the faces of the investors with the assurances that these young people are building something remarkable, a market that I can trust. In 2026, just a couple of weeks ago, we hosted the third edition of the Nasarawa Investment Summit. But at this time, what was lingering in our minds is not about the investment commitments that have been made and the investments that are flowing already in the state. The question has been, how do we sustain this and how do we build a critical mass of our people supporting, and how do we build a political consensus so that bad politics doesn't change the principle that is transforming industries, that is providing jobs for our people. We got together and we called on traditional institutions, the political class, young people, youth groups to sign what we call the Lafayette Declaration. It was the first of its kind, community-led, community-driven commitment to continuity. And what the Lafayette Declaration is saying is that the citizens are affirming and are committing that whoever becomes the governor or whoever assumes leadership of the state in the future, we have defined what the imperatives for our development are, and we've defined our economic growth trajectory, and there is no going back. 7 years of taking bold steps and translating a vision into a tangible economic impact has given us 2.3 billion United States dollars in investment into Nasarawa State, over 50,000 jobs created, laudable institutions set up, the IGR of the state jumping from 7 billion in 2019 to 37 billion in 2025. What this journey has taught me, and what I'd like to share everyone in the room, especially all of us, the young people here, is that ideas are worthless without execution. Have you ever heard of anyone being given a prize for the best idea? No. Ideas don't cut it. You have to take a bold step to act. And I'd like to leave the stage this morning calling all of us to action. Every speaker that has come on stage so far this morning has talked about what I will describe as the action imperative. But I'd like to let all of us here leave this room with the thinking, with the idea that this action is a responsibility we must deliver to ourselves. Thank you very much.
If our hands are not so busy, please can we give him a big round of applause? Now I feel like I want to run for president. I can do it. I can bring that change, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, for that powerful presentation. Moving up next, would be having, sorry, let me get that. Would be having a musical performance by Peace Godwin. But before that, we would also be inviting our one and only platinum sponsor in person of, let me just call the company, Brightness Reality, to come and give us a 5-minute speech. And after that, we would be going to just network, go out to, have some videos and pictures, and also visit the stall of some vendors that we have here. And then we come back for the next segment of the event. Please, can we give a big round of applause to Brightness Reality? Reality, yes. Please, can we sustain the claps? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Peter Azamde Umaru, the ND and CEO of Brightness Realty Limited. Brightness Realty Limited started as a vision while I was an agent in this town. After graduating in NYSC, there was not much to do. I was into network marketing, and I wasn't getting what I needed. So I joined a friend to start agency in this town. We're moving, providing, trying to help clients get access to housing. And I get to realize that every single day I get not less than 30 to 20 calls of people in need of a place to stay. So I realized there's a problem. There are not enough houses for the number of clients in need. And even for the ones that I have, they are living in slum and they need a place better than where they are. Not because they don't have the means, but because there is not enough affordable housing that are conducive enough to give them what they need. So it struck me that there is a niche here and there's something we can do about it. But as a young person who does not have access to funds, I said, okay, how can we get to the point of providing housing for people while we don't have access to funds and the Nigerian economy is not big enough to support mortgage? Because according to the national housing data, there are about 28 million people that are always in need of housing deficit. And then according to, that is the common knowledge, but as I updated last year, is 14.9 million housing deficit in the country. And every single year, this increases. So that's how we started Brightness Realty Limited. The idea is to sell land, make it cheap. Every Nigerian should have access to a cheap land that is verifiable, properly documented, and should be able to have what he can call his own, and in the future, be able to build. Thank God for the current government. They gave us an opportunity by expanding the states. Today we are here, tomorrow we'll be in another place. But the ultimate goal, Brightness Realty is here to make housing affordable for all. Thank you.
Brightness Realty Limited, owning land and having a place to call home should not be a dream reserved only for elite. We are building a real estate company giving a trust, affordability, and long-term value from verified lands to from property sales to real estate investment opportunities. Brightness Realty Limited is here to help individuals, families, and investors make safe and confident property decisions. We offer affordable plots in strategic locations, flexible payment options, proper documentation, professional guidance, and transparent transactions from start to finish. Whether you are buying your first plot, investing for the future, or looking for a reliable real estate partner, Brightness Realty Limited is committed to working with you every step of the way. Our goal is to create opportunities for people to own land, to grow wealth, and to build a better future. At Brightness Realty Limited, we do not just sell, we create value, build trust, and invest to ownership. Brightness Realty Limited, affordable housing, trusted investments, real estate solutions for today and tomorrow. And Brightness Realty I was just so happy. You were like oh shoot, I see vision of ecstasy when you hold me. I'm alive, but a diamond in the sky. I knew that you were with me. One night, oh, I'm at first sight, I saw. Shine bright like a diamond, bright like a diamond. I'm rushing through this as we shine memory. Feel the loves will never die. But diamonds in those parachutes inspire us. Vision and ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. Diamonds in the sky. After sound I saw a sun ray. I saw the light inside your eyes tonight. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I see lights. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. 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 Bright like a diamond. Shine bright tonight. You and I. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I feel so alive. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Oh, powerful. Please, I should request for the clap, yeah? Thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful voice. That was a nice one. I thought Hannah was here actually for a moment. Thank you. Still, I would like to appreciate our sponsors, Brightness Realty Limited. Please give them a big round of applause. Himas Properties. I would like to see your hands waving, please, when I call. And also, special guests around, Dr. Gabriel, please, can we wave? Thank you, sir, for coming. Alhaji Mustafa Atiku. Thank you. Mrs. Amy Gaman. Thank you for coming, ma. Mr. Danjuma Oje. Also, our partners, Raleigh Media. Thank you. Lars Parlor Limited. Lars? Okay. Mark Brand Nigeria Limited. Thank you so much all for making this possible. Now, as I've mentioned earlier, we'll be going for a networking session, which 10 minutes it's allocated for that. Please, let's ensure that we stick to time, and then we come back to the hall, have our refreshments, and back to sit so that we can continue on the business of the day. Please give a round of applause to me and my co-host, and then I can go down. Thank you so much. Hello, please can we take back our seats? Hello, please, we have 1 minute to be on our seats. Am I communicating? I'll start calling names. Hello, please, let's take our seats. Hello, please, let's take our seats. Please, let's take our seats. We have 1 minute to do that. Mr. Ibrahim and your community, please take your seats. Thank you. Mr. Ibrahim Zanna, please can you take your seats? Thank you. Miss Janada, please can you take your seats? Don't worry. We have 30 seconds to achieve that. Please, let's take our seats. Miss Khadija, please, can you have your seats? We have 2 seconds to achieve that. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. As you do that, I know when I get the speakers to sit, we have everyone seated as well. We'll now be getting our refreshments, which Mr. Raleigh. Thank you. Our refreshments would be coming to us now, and the media team would be entertaining us. That would just take about 5 minutes to do that, and then we continue. Please, let's be seated. The refreshment will get to you. The networking session is over, and our refreshments will be served. We don't like the hall is becoming. Thank you so much as we comply. Hello, just a quick one. Please, for those that have taken off their wristband, please can you put it on back for easier identification? Please. Thank you.